everyone, SimsEclaire here and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are doing a Snowy Escape apartment renovation, and this is going to be our last build in our, little Snowy Escape week that we've been having. I feel like we've done, the essentials. We did a family home, like a large family home. We did a small little, like, more naturey home. We did a more modern version in the downtown area, and now we are doing an apartment. Now obviously apartments, we didn't get any apartments with the new pack, so this is in Evergreen Harbor, and I'm 99% sure that this build ends up only being eco lifestyle, base game, and Snowy Escape. I had my filters on for most of the build, so it should be that way. However, I'm sure I make mistakes, everybody does, so it is very possible that there could be like one or two clutter items, but I'm pretty sure that this build is going to turn out being only eco lifestyle and Snowy Escape, so that's pretty cool. I was really excited about that, and I really like how this apartment turned out. I haven't done this floor plan for an apartment like this before. It has this weird little hallway area. Even I'll admit I went a little haywire on the shape of that hallway, but I think it works. And it is 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and an office. Now I probably could have made it 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom and given space for 2 kids, but I ended up just making the other room an office. I don't put a computer or anything in there. I figured that the kid probably used it for their homework, because my idea for this apartment, I've definitely focused more on putting in items for the business career. Like I've done a little bit, like the teenager's bedroom in the one build was more winter sports related, and I've talked about how like probably one person in the household does winter sports, but this apartment specifically, I figured the parent, because I did think that there was only one, I did think that the parent was an extreme sports person. They were like an awarded snowboarder, and then their child wanted to follow in their footsteps. So you'll see when we get to the kids room that the kids room is completely decked out to the nines in the snowboarding stuff and all those wall decals that we got, and then the office actually has some of the awards that are able to be unlocked hanging on the wall. So that was kind of my thinking. Like, it was a younger parent and they lived here with their kid, and they went to Mount Komorebi for vacations, and they did their snow sports, and that was where they made the majority of their money. But they lived in this smaller apartment, and I thought that was kind of a cool little storyline. So that's how I imagined playing in this apartment. Obviously, if I end up remembering to download this to the gallery, because I have a huge issue with remembering to put my apartments up, but if I do remember and you do put this in your game, then obviously you can play with it however you want. But that was how I imagined playing with it. And here we are putting together the living room. So this is probably my favorite area in the entire house, except for the kids' room, but I really like how this area kind of worked. I used these wall decorations just so the wall wasn't completely bare, and I really like how this wood tone plays off of, it's kind of like a middle tone between the white couches that I chose and the wood tones that unfortunately came with this apartment. I thought about changing the apartments, but I couldn't honestly remember if the other apartments had a different wood tone for their windows, so I just decided to leave it. And I think that in how the apartment ends up, the wood tones on the windows don't really look that odd. I tried to warm things up a little bit so that it wouldn't be too stark, and I think that it turns out okay. And then going over here, this is just the dining room area. It's not really that large. It's 4 seats, and then it's the new table from Snowy Escape, but it is the chairs from Eco Lifestyle. I liked how they had the blue in it, so that way it kind of matched the wallpapers that I used. Speaking of the wallpapers that I used, I've used this wallpaper from Eco Lifestyle before, but I haven't used it in this color, and I think that this color is absolutely beautiful. Like, I don't know what it is about this color, but I put it on the wall and I was like, wow, that's such a pretty blue. And I think it works really well with the 2 different wood tones that we have in here, and then also the wallpaper from Snowy Escape that I chose to use in the bathroom and the kitchen. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that. And going over here, we're about to start on the kitchen, but I wanted to place a couple of decorations here on these little ledges because I didn't want them to look too bare compared to the rest of the apartment, so I do just put a couple of picture frames and a nice plant, and then I also think I add some candles. Yeah, I get some of the candles out from Eco Lifestyle, and I just line them up here. And then on the other side, I believe I place some kitchen things, because that's where the actual kitchen's going to be, is on the right. Oh, I place some books, so my mistake, it's not kitchen things. But I don't always do these like open kitchens where it's in the apartments. I usually either completely close them off or use like an open floor plan. So I was actually really happy with how this turned out. I did forget though that we didn't get cabinets in this pack. I was going to put cabinets up against where the spandrels were, because I was pretty sure that they were thick enough to hold the cabinets, but we didn't get any, so it ends up just being a plain spandrel. But I think that that's okay. I do use some of the shelving units. They're just inside of the kitchen. You'll see what I mean when we get there. But over here I'm just doing a little bit of like an informal seating area. I do end up taking out one of those counters because I wasn't sure if you were going to be able to use it, because I ended up adding, you can see here, I added that little extra cat counter there because I wanted to make sure your sim had a place where they could actually cook food. I wasn't sure if the corner cabinets were going to work with everything being so cramped. So I do end up taking away one of those seating areas and just putting a trash can there, because I was pretty sure that they would be able to walk around the trash can and still get to the seating areas. And then right now we're just cluttering up the countertops. I don't do too much. I basically put just a whole bunch of like stuff on the bottom and then leave the tops, I don't know, pretty empty. I obviously leave that one completely empty so that way your sim has something to use. And then I just place some of these pictures up because the wood tones matched the color of the countertops. I used the white with the white. I was trying to, I don't know if you guys noticed, but with each one of the builds that I did with this pack, I was trying to use some of the different wood tones. Like the first one was more of the darker, cool toned woods. And then the second one was the really warm, like cherry wood colors. And then the third one was like this wood, but then with cream. So it looked a whole lot warmer. And then this one, I wanted to go more cooler edges. So I wanted to do the whites and the light blues and kind of make it just so you guys could see the different styles of the pack and the different versatility of the pack, because I was really happy with how many swatches of these items we did get, especially with that one. I really like that one swatch that it's like that super grainy wood. It looks so weird if you don't use it on like your entire build because it just looks so out of place, but if you do use it and you use it correctly, that really grainy wood swatches that we got with this pack are absolutely gorgeous. And I know that that's like a tradition in Japan, is like making that type of a wood, so I'm really happy that they included that in this pack. Oh, and then I also wanted to mention, speaking of traditions in Japan, so I did not do an entryway here, like an indented entryway. That was because we were in, what's this world called? Evergreen Harbor, and I didn't necessarily think that this house was going to, or this apartment was going to be for a Japanese family. It could be, obviously, and that's like the theme of this pack, but I definitely thought that this was more of like a modern, it's not in that world type of a thing, so I did not place it. And I also didn't think I'd have enough room, and I know that there have been issues in these eco lifestyle apartments before with trying to delete, you know, floors and walls and things, and them totally messing with the whole layout of the apartment. So I didn't want to try and do too much. But if you do have an issue with it and you would like to place one, then what I did in some of my smaller builds is I just did fencing around where the door is, like little minimal fencing, and then I changed the floor. So I didn't even indent it. I would just change the floor. So if you would prefer to play with it that way, then that's totally fine. That's an easy fix. And then going into here, so this is the kids' bedroom, and as you can see, I'm trying to make a bunk bed. And I don't know if the room just isn't big enough. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong, but I literally could not get it to work. The ladder wasn't working, and I've seen some of the people using ladders. The stairs weren't connecting the way that I've seen them in some videos, so I really do have to play with it. I promise you at some point I will have these functional bunk beds in one of my builds. It's just for right now I cannot get them to work, and I don't know what it is. And I wasn't even going to do like stacked beds. I was going to do a loft bed style where I was going to put the kid's desk underneath the bed, or like some of his toys underneath the bed, but I just couldn't get it to work. Like you guys can see me here, And I wanted to leave this in so that way, in case any of you know how to get this to work, you can let me know in the comments down below, like, what I was doing wrong. But yeah, I don't know. And I really wanted to try for my last build to get it in there, because the build before this, I did my first use of tatami, and I think that turned out okay. That video went up this morning that I'm recording this, so I haven't had any complaints yet about how that worked. So I'm really hoping that it turned out okay. And so yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you know how to get these bunk beds to work, because I would greatly appreciate being able to put these in my game. And we are about to give up on these bunk beds in just a second. I do end up just putting the, the bed on the ground. Wow, I got up, I stopped my voice recording to get up to get my computer charger because it was dying, and then I completely forgot what I was doing. But no, so this here, you can see I am totally foregoing the whole bunk bed thing, and I'm just going to put the bed on the floor, and it ends up being okay. I was going to try and get 2 beds in here, but I decided just to leave it as 1 because I wasn't quite sure at the time if I was going to use the Snowy Escape dresser, which takes up way too much space. So I wanted to make sure I had enough space to use that if I did decide to use it. I do end up not, but it's totally okay because I like how this room turns out anyway. And then I'm using this base game wallpaper, the one with the mountains on it, and I'm using it in the black swatch, so that way it matches these black wall decals that we got with this pack, which I think are super cool. I don't think that they fit with the overall style of the pack because it's definitely more, I don't know, I think that it kind of goes along with the theme of like the snowboard table that we got and the ski wall hanging. Like all of those like 3 items match, but they don't match the rest of the items that we got in the pack. But I think that I don't know, I like them in kids' rooms, let's put it that way. I can use them in kids' rooms, and I use a couple of them in the office as well, because some of them are bigger and they're not necessarily decals, they're more like pictures. And I put 2 of them on this wall here in just a second. I shrink them down a little bit, and then I do also put 2 of them in the office, and I figured that maybe they were pictures of the parent, like maybe someone had either painted them or like took action shots and then like edited them of the parent while they were going down the slopes. So I thought that was kind of cool if the kid had a couple pictures of their parent just like hanging up on their wall, like admiring them. And then going over here, so this is the bathroom. I did keep the toilet separate just because I have been doing that, and so I totally just was like, yeah, I mean, that I was like, in my head, I was just like, this is what we've been doing, so this is what I'm going to do. And then I do end up extending this bathroom just a little bit because I didn't think there'd be enough room for the shower here. Initially, you can see me trying to use the shower that we got with the pack, but then I thought that was a little odd for a single household that had just one parent, like a parent and a kid, not having the shower like as an actual shower. So I do end up extending the bathroom just a little bit so that way we can fit an actual shower in here. And then I place a couple of different wall decorations around, nothing too fancy. And then going into the parents' bedroom, I do use the Snowy Escape bedroom furniture, so the new bed and the new dresser. And that little alcove there that you see, that was kind of created awkwardly by how I did the bathroom. I do end up just putting some plants in there just to cover up the giant hole in the, you can see I'm using the Snowy Escape ones. And then over here I use these new Snowy Escape mirror with that snowboarder table, and I just place a couple of random decorations on the table just so it doesn't look completely empty, because the dresser itself is closed off, so that one you don't have to clutter up that much. But I hate leaving tables without anything on it. I think it just looks just a little weird. And then I'm using some of these curtains that we got with the pack. They're not really curtains, they're more like, I don't know, shades, I want to say, because again, I forgot about the bamboo ones, but I also didn't know if the bamboo ones were going to fit over these eco lifestyle windows, so I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And then I'm using this, technically it's under wall decorations, but it's labeled as a long curtain, so I don't know if you're supposed to put it over windows, but I've been using it as like an actual decoration piece, like a painting, because I really like these couple swatches of it that they have those like mountain landscapes on it. I think that those look really cool. And then going into the office there, it's a very small office, I will give it that. And then I just placed a couple of, random office items, the new desk stuff that we got with this pack, the new bookshelf. And I clutter up the desk just a little bit. Like I said, I did think that the child would be using this for their homework. So I did place one of those new, little dolls that we got. I think that they're dolls. And then the kids, pencil holder. And then I put the parents' awards on the wall because like I said, I did think that the child idolized their parents' sports and they wanted to follow in their footsteps. But besides that, that is it for this build. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next week. Bye.